A warm welcome to your midweek Barbados Today Evening News Update for Wednesday, October 27. Prime Minister Mottley today sent a stern warning to banks to change their operations or be forced to do so by law. She voiced her dissatisfaction with current practices, which she says are not fair to citizens and businesses, and there must be change.
The bottom line is, my friends, that the next thing we're going to hear is that the bank is going to charge you a fee depending on how skinny you are or how fat you are, depending on how much pressure you put on the ATM or otherwise. It cannot be. And at the very time that we are asking you as a private sector, and we're asking Barbadians as individuals to think outside of the box, it cannot be that we are going to sit idly by and allow persons to abandon their purpose of financial intermediation and to go into the business of security. Now, I'm not meaning to be invidious. I'm not meaning to be offensive in any way. But I don't know how many more times to say it, and therefore I have advised the governor of the central bank that if we don't get it right, then the government will legislate, because it is not fair to the people or the businesses in this nation.
The Prime Minister issued the warning as she addressed business leaders at today's Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry Forum entitled Building Bridges for Successful Economic Recovery. Mottley lamented that banks were watching people's money rather than putting the money to work. She announced her government is in the process of establishing not only a bank to fund green projects, but a digital bank as well.
I've asked Professor Avinash Prasad, who has stepped down as chairman of the Financial Services Commission, to undertake this vital task for the country to get the Green Bank going, whether singularly or in partnership with existing or new entities that are about to come. And I think some of you may be aware also of significant work that is being done towards the establishment of a digital bank locally as well. Without these opportunities to give our people access to finance, there is no oxygen. And that is why I maintain that the bank's appetite for risk has to change, because without access to oxygen, people will not be in a position either to expand existing businesses or to create new businesses in our country.
On a separate matter, the Prime Minister revealed that the planned introduction of safe zones may be delayed by a week. Under the measure, vaccinated staff and members of the public will be allowed entry to safe zone facilities, while those who are unvaccinated will be required to present a valid negative COVID-19 PCR test. Mottley had announced a November 1 start for health facilities, but she said authorities have to meet with key players before implementation.
The CMO has to bring in all of the owners of the private nursing homes and the various other people who run private health facilities, because this is not just a case of passing a directive. We need to talk through with people and make sure that people understand what is happening. We wanted to do health first for obvious reasons. Thereafter, we go now, after we finish them, we go to the other frontline workers, the police, the prison officers, soldiers, customs, immigration, etc., and the tourism and hospitality workers. I would like to believe that we will have directives that make and require either vaccine or testing for all of those entities between the beginning of November and the middle of November. On a parallel track, we think that we can probably get the private events drafted.
Meanwhile, 6 COVID-related deaths were reported on Tuesday, even as 391 new infections were confirmed. The deceased include 4 Barbadian females aged 54, 82, 85, and a 97-year-old who died October 24 but was subsequently confirmed positive. In addition, there were 2 males aged 51 and 87. They were all unvaccinated. These deaths bring the total number to 149. There are now 740 people in isolation facilities and 4,674 in home isolation. Overall, COVID-19 cases recorded from March 2020 stand at 16,424. Under the National Vaccination Program, a total of 123,217 persons, that's 45.5% of the total population, or 54% of the eligible population, are fully vaccinated. In just under a week, a new top cop will take charge of the Royal Barbados Police Force. He is 42-year veteran Assistant Commissioner Richard Boyce. Boyce has held a range of specialist portfolios, including criminal investigations, special branch operations, and a 6-year stint at the Regional Police Training Center. He is the holder of a first-class honours degree in History and Management from the University of the West Indies and a Master of Science in Human Resource Management from the University of Surrey, the United Kingdom. He's replacing Commissioner of Police Tyrone Griffith. The search continues for an armed man who attempted a daring daylight robbery at Republic Bank in Wildy around 9:25 this morning. 2 bank employees injured during the incident are now recovering, and lawmen are hoping to make a quick breakthrough. Earlier today, Assistant Superintendent of Police Dale Critchlow updated reporters on the incident.
An unknown man who was heavily masked entered the building known as the Republic Bank Barbados Limited, located at Wildy, St. Michael, brandishing a firearm. He went to a telestation, threw an empty bag over the counter, was making demands. The assailant subsequently discharged 2 shots, injuring 2 staff members in the process. He then ran away from the bank and made good his escape into a waiting motor car. Injured staff members were transported to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by ambulance for medical attention.
The Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Republic Bank, Barbados, Anthony Clerk, expressed relief his employees were spared serious injury.
2 staff were injured, one a little worse than the other. One was really just a graze, and the other one was a little more serious, but it was not a direct shot. It was a ricochet off, I believe, the wall. So hopefully those 2 staff will be okay. They were in good spirits up until the one who was more seriously damaged left. I was with her in the ambulance. She was okay. She was speaking. In fact, she was on her cell phone making calls. So I think they'll be okay, and that is the most important thing for us right now.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
I'll admit, when the COVID-19 vaccines were first introduced, I was a bit skeptical. I wondered, how did they create these vaccines so quickly? I heard so many theories and was suffocated by all the noise. But once I did my own research and began speaking to my friends in the field, I got the facts and decided to take the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. I am now proud to say that I'm fully vaccinated. I am one who believes in choice, but I also know that with each choice comes consequences. COVID-19 vaccines have been proven to provide a layer of protection against COVID-19. We have been in this situation for far too long now. It is time to get our lives back. We still need to social distance, wash our hands, and mask up, but having an extra layer of protection with the COVID-19 vaccines, we should feel more happy that we're protecting ourselves, our family and friends, our colleagues, and our clients.
Let's roll up our sleeves and get back to living.
Welcome back to Regional News. Alarming findings about the treatment of children in Guyana is a major concern for authorities as they receive the annual reports of the Rights of the Child Commission. The reports were handed over to the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mansour Nadir, today.
While there are some good things that are in our reports, we are very, very distressed at some of the findings that we have found in the regions especially. And there's a lot of neglect, a lot of abuse, a lot of incest, and these things have been bothering us. There's a lot of things that are happening to our children.
That was Alima Nazir, the chairperson of the Rights of the Child Commission, which is an independent constitutional body tasked with representing the rights of children in Guyana. On Wednesday, the Commission presented its annual reports for the years 2017, 2018, 2019 and 2020 to the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mansour Nadir. These reports present the work done by the Commission, the challenges faced and recommendations for further protection of children. Meanwhile, the Speaker commended the work done by the Commission but called for greater support of children. Of particular importance, the Speaker said, was the registration of children and the support being afforded to migrant children.
The Commission is very, very challenged, especially in terms of children coming over our borders and not having any form of registration, in spite of the fact that we have, I would say, a very good births and death registration system. Guyana can't turn away these kids. We have to do everything in our power to ensure that we could afford them the opportunity that is enshrined in their right.
On the international front, senior Democrats in the U.S. Congress were at odds today over a proposal to tax billionaires' assets to help pay for President Joe Biden's social and climate change agenda. Reuters Television is tracking the story.
The so-called billionaires tax, announced by Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden, is paired with a proposed 15% corporate minimum tax targeting big, profitable companies that now seem to get away with paying little or no taxes. Proponents, including Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren, say the measure would curb tax avoidance by corporations and the super rich, and could generate hundreds of billions of dollars to pay for Biden's Build Back Better legislation.
My Build Back Better plan gets us back on track,
which is expected to cost between $1.5 trillion and $2 trillion. The White House backs the corporate minimum tax, which would dovetail with a global corporate minimum tax recently agreed by 136 countries. The billionaires tax, which would take effect in 2022, would affect roughly 700 taxpayers with over $1 billion in assets or $100 million in annual income for 3 consecutive years. Republican Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on Tuesday said Americans were not interested in higher taxes.
Well, the larger issue is whether the country needs a big tax increase. The American people are not asking for any of this.
At least one billionaire, Tesla founder Elon Musk, is unhappy with the plan. As reports of the proposal swirled earlier this week, Musk tweeted, "Eventually, they run out of other people's money, and then they come for you."
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.